Hey ho, lovely people. Welcome to a foggy, somewhat chilly Monday lunchtime here in Sheffield in the UK. I have described Sheffield as a mid-sized city in the north of England, but I was corrected, saying in fact Sheffield is one of the sort of biggest cities in the UK, and that is true. I think Sheffield's like 5th or 6th biggest city in the UK. However, by sort of international standards, I still think it's a pretty mid-sized city. You know, if you go to China, you know, a mid-sized city's got like, 5 million people living in it. So Sheffield's 500,000 is pretty paltry in comparison. But I do take your point. That it is actually, it's certainly by UK standards, not really a mid-sized city. Anyhow, that digression aside, welcome to the shift. I'm out on my first order from a cafe called Lisboa. It's on Ubereats. It's paying about £4 something for about 3 point something miles, which is not a fantastic order, but it is a sort of a Monday midday order. You've got to probably be a bit realistic about what you're going to get on days like this. Let's go park over here. Probably our best option at the moment. Let's have a look. Let's sit down here. All good. Goody. No drinks. Just toasts and pastries. Are you coming out? Oh, okay. You go past then. Oh, okay. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers, mate. It's an order for Hugo, is it? Thank you so much. Is it? Hugo M. Yep. Perfect. Cheers. All right, let's go off to this first one. It's about 2.8 miles to the house of the customer. A nice jaunt through some of the leafier suburbs of Sheffield. Yeah, I don't know if it's been foggy where you are in the UK, or indeed wherever you are in the world, but it's been pretty bloody foggy here for the last few days. And it's one of those things that people kind of typically think is the weather here in Britain. You know, I worked abroad for many years as a teacher, and a lot of my time seemed to be spent either sort of trying to confirm or deny different stereotypes people had of the UK and the British people and life and weather and things like that. And fog was one of them. Fog was one that they constantly mentioned. I think it was kind of peddled to them in various textbooks that the UK was constantly kind of shrouded in fog, especially London. But I'm really not sure if that's true. We just don't get that much fog. Certainly here in Sheffield, maybe because we're not by the sea. Maybe if you're by the sea, you get a bit more. But I don't know. Wherever you are, let us know. Do you get a lot of fog?
Yesterday's quick-fire phone-in only yielded 3 calls. My mistake. I think panel beating was too narrow a topic.
Rain, yes. I mean, that was one that was also brought up, that it's always raining in the UK. And yeah, it does. It rains a lot. There's no denying that. One of the problems doing this job is just how much it rains and how often that makes it difficult to deliver. Although sometimes people would say to me, oh, you really like the rain. I don't think we like the rain. British people don't like the rain. I think we have a sort of slightly adversarial relationship with it, in the sense that, we get a lot of it. So we do talk about it a lot. But I can't say people are sort of gushing about how fantastic it is. It's part of life. I very rarely hear people say, oh, thank God it's pissing down today. Yeah, I suppose the other stereotype is that we talk about the weather a lot. And again, something that popped up a lot in textbooks when I was abroad was that British people love talking about the weather. And so we, taught students a lot of phrases like, oh, what's the weather today? Oh, it's sunny, it's rainy, and stuff like that. And I think, there is an element of truth to this. I think we do talk about the weather far more than in other countries. And I've lived in particularly countries where the weather is pretty consistent, like, I was in Greece and places like that where it's sunny all the time, or at least for good chunks of the year. No one's there going, oh, well, look at this sun, would you believe it? Whereas I think because our weather's so unpredictable, we do need to constantly talk about what we need to wear, and will this event happen because of it, and what will happen if it does rain, what are we going to do? And again, a lot of the stuff seemed to come from 40, 50, 60 years ago. I think some of these textbooks that the kids were using when I was abroad were pretty antiquated. So there was lots of things about fog and bowler hats on gentlemen walking across London Bridge, and Westminster Bridge, and umbrellas and that kind of thing. British tea, having tea at 4. They would always ask me, do you stop for tea at 4 o'clock? And not really, no. I think there may be a very, very tiny subset of people in the UK who are rich enough and leisurely enough that they can stop for tea at 4 o'clock, but most people are working. I wonder if this first bit is... Alright, that one's done. Let's head back into Sheffield now, see what else we can pick up. Seems a little bit quiet today. I'm wondering if we're getting a bit of a January effect here. Everyone's hunkering down and not spending too much money as they absolutely rip through their pay packets over Christmas. I know I certainly did. And trying to not sort of order takeaway or go out too much or be too extravagant. All right, people. Got another order in from a place called Urban Fresh. It's a burger place. Quite a longish one. I think it's paying about £6, going about 4 odd miles, I think, in total. So we'll hop off there and pick that up. By the way, getting the camera facing me and looking at me is a slightly more complicated operation. I think it depends on the camera you've got. If you've got one of those like 360 cameras, they'll sort of do both forwards and backwards. But for me, I've got to take off the camera from my helmet and then stick it onto my handlebars. Not 100% sure it's worth doing, just for the sake of sort of having a different viewpoint. But, I see lots of people doing that kind of shot. So I thought, I'll give it a go. I'll have a full body helmet shot. That sounds a bit rude. Like a shot of me riding the bike. I mean, in the end, I don't think these particular camera shots are that interesting. You can't really see anything. You're not really seeing the joys of Sheffield as I'm going around. What we were just seeing is a very bright deliveroo jacket and someone in a helmet. It's not as though you can even see my face, which, may actually be a godsend for some of you. Hey, they've got order for Matt W. Can you pop that one in there? Is that the one? Thank you. Is everything? Cheers. All right, let's get off to this one. It's sort of 3.5 miles to the customer. Uber Eats, paying about £6 something. So what else did I hear when I was abroad about sort of stereotypical British habits, behaviours, culture? There's a lot of stuff about kind of food. Again, they learned a lot of this stuff from these old textbooks about things like full English breakfasts. I would often ask, do you have a full English breakfast every single morning? And once I kind of went through what was actually in a full English breakfast, I sort of made it clear that, only a couple of weeks of that and you'll be pretty much heading to the emergency room with a major heart attack. There's only so many times you can eat that amount of fried food without massively endangering your health. I think for most people in the UK, full English breakfast is one of those weekend treats, maybe a holiday treat when you're in a hotel or something, but it's not something people, it just takes too long to make as well. Most people just don't have the time in the morning. If you're going to eat it, you're probably going to go to a cafe. You're probably very, very rarely do people make full English breakfast at home, I don't think. Do you? Does anyone making full English breakfast at home? And of course, fish and chips. I'd ask how often do I eat fish and chips? Is it common there? And yeah, I think fish and chips is still quite a big thing in the UK. I mean, maybe we can have a look around here and have a look. I mean, you can, you know, I often do deliver. There you go. There's a fish and chip shop just there. That one's a gluten-free. That shows kind of the sign of the times. A gluten-free specialist fish and chips, which is probably something I wouldn't have seen when I was younger. When I used to sort of teach international students here in the UK, I'd often go through the process of how to kind of order in a chip shop, because it's quite an arcane and complicated process if you're not used to it, if you're not born here and grown up here. This whole thing of you know, kind of ordering when you go in, you've got to sort of tell them what fish you want, if you want fish and chips as soon as you get in, so they can put it on. Sort of vinegar, wrapped, unwrapped, chip butties, scraps. Mind you, that was something I had to learn here in the north of England, because we didn't have it down south. This idea of the sort of the hard brown bits you get at the bottom of the frying pan, in which people like to have sometimes with their chips as well. Another thing I used to get when I was abroad was about sort of the British sense of humour. They'd often talk about the sort of special, different, unique British sense of humour. I think it's, you know, one that's steeped in a certain amount of sort of sarcasm and irony, maybe sort of a certain sort of absurdity to it. If you think back things like sort of the Monty Pythons and stuff like that. And I think there is some truth about that. Something sort of oddly unique about the British sense of humour. I think one thing that, it's not really sense of humour, well, I suppose it is, but I remember reading in a book, I'm trying to remember what the book was, I think maybe it was like Bill Bryson, talking about sort of the British and the British Isles, talking about how British people kind of laugh a lot when they're together. And it's this idea of sort of like constantly sort of ribbing and joking with each other and making fun of each other. It's very sort of deep in the English and British psyche to do that. And I think there is a large element of truth to that. And I think it's something you only notice, you know, I lived abroad for many, many years. And, you know, although, you know, when I'd go out with groups of people in different countries, you know, Greece or Croatia or Serbia, Poland, Kyrgyzstan, and, you know, South Korea, you know, all these places I lived in, you know, when you'd go out with people and you sort of observe sort of groups of people from that country together, you know, they were clearly happy with each other and talking, but often, you know, you wouldn't say there was a huge amount of laughter. And I think it's very noticeable whenever you go to sort of a pub or something, just how much kind of laughter and joking and joshing around sometimes spills over into something a bit more unpleasant, but most of the time it's just good-natured and good-humoured. And I think that's definitely true. You know, and maybe that relates to another sort of stereotype, the kind of the pub culture, this idea that sort of you go to this place, which is a bit like a house. It's sort of like you're sitting in your living room, sort of messing around with people. It's like you're with your family. It's not quite the same as being in a bar. And again, I think there is something sort of unique about pub culture, which you don't get in many other places. Is that you, mate? Is it Matt, yeah? Great. Wasn't sure where 4 was. There's nothing on the outside that gives you a clue. There you go, buddy. Have a good one. All right, well, did that one. I got another order come in. This is on Deliveroo. Wasn't sure whether to take this one or not. This is a double order, 2 deliveries from 2 separate supermarkets. It's paying about 10 quid. Probably going, I reckon, maybe 5-6 miles in total, I think. This is one of the big problems with Deliveroo and supermarket orders, is they don't tell you. The problem is they don't tell you firstly generally how far you're going, so you're just sort of looking at the map and trying to guess from your own knowledge of the area. But then you've only got like 60 seconds to try and work it all out. But secondly, you can't see how many items are going to be in each order. So, you know, 2 supermarket deliveries. This could be 2 supermarket deliveries of like 5 items in each delivery, in which case it'd be fine to get in a bag. Or it could be 2 orders of, you know, 35 items each, in which case I may not even be able to get one of them in my bag. So I think at least Deliveroo could tell you how many items are in the order. All right, they don't necessarily have to list every single item. Well, it would be helpful. I mean, Ubereats managed to do it, so I'm not sure why they can't. So you can at least make a decision whether it's worth taking or not. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you. I think particularly if you're not from the UK, and I know that the vast majority of people watching these videos are from the UK, but if you're not, what are your sort of stereotypes, either behavioural, cultural, food, of people in the UK and life in the UK? And if you had the chance to then come here, how much do you think that was confirmed or denied by what you actually experienced? Here he goes, mate, don't just wait. Wait, mate. Oh, taxi drivers. I did say this in a previous video. They really annoy the living shit out of me. For a long time, I didn't realise these supermarkets actually had pickup points and that I could use them. I was always parking in the car park. I think there was my sort of customer mentality still existing. As soon as you arrive, you can see 9 items. Oh, that's not bad. Let's see what they are. Red Bull. Yeah, it's a lot of... no, it should be... Oh, no. Dog food. Jesus Christ, that's going to be big. That's going to be big. Yes.
Is it 3224?
No, it's 4717.
My colleague's just picking up.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. It's just those 2, yeah. Thank you so much. All right, well, that's kind of filled up my bag, but we'll see. We might be able to squeeze things in. It depends on how small this next one is. All right, let's get off to the next pickup. This is at Sainsbury's, 2.5 miles away, in a small sort of town just outside Sheffield called Dronfield. Famous for having the, or at least temporarily, the stadium of the oldest football club in the world, Sheffield FC. Which is not the same as Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United. That's a separate team down in the lower sort of non-league divisions. They were formed in 1857, I'm going to say, which was, like I say, the first sort of officially regulated football team. Technically, not even in Yorkshire, Dronfield. Sheffield's in South Yorkshire, but Dronfield's in Derbyshire. There you go, on the right here we got Sheffield FC. I'm not sure if you can even pick it up, but it's, you can see, home of football stadium, welcome to the Wimbledon. Come on, where you going, buddy? Alright, let's have a quick peek. How many items? 10. Oh, it could be doable. Depends what those 10 items are. Let's have a quick look. Kitchen roll. Tissues. Oh no, this is going to be an absolute nightmare. Alright, let's go and have a look and see. But I suspect I might have to cancel this one. Hello. Ooh, could I? I reckon with a bit of jiggery pokery, I think I could. I don't really want to give up this order. Could maybe squeeze that there. I wonder if I take this Right, let's take this bag out. Let's do it this way. Put that in there. That in there. Yeah, this is all doable. Let's stick that in here. And put that between my legs. Let's see. Oh yeah, that'll go. All right, let's go off this first one. It's less than a mile, and then I think the other one's pretty close as well. So, yeah, this will give us 10 quid. So it turned out to be a fairly decent little order. All right then, is it okay if I see some ID from you? Okay, cheers, thanks a lot. 83, thank you, bye-bye, have a great day. All right, next customer's on the same road, which is perfect, so it's just around the corner. Not too bad, mate, how's it going? They just don't like helmets, I don't think, dogs. They just really, it freaks them out for some reason. Are you going to be okay, buddy? You okay? No, but like sometimes like helmets just send them crazy. And your code? 74. Thanks, Oliver. Have a great day. See you, buddy. Have a good one. Bye. All right, well, that's done. That pulled in about a tenner. Add that to the tenner I got from the previous couple of orders from Uber Eats, and that brings us up to about 20 quid for today in about an hour and a half, which is, though it seems less okay when I read in my comments from, I think he was like a delivery driver from Norway, who said he was earning around, I don't know, nearly like £5,000 a month doing delivering. Which seems incredible, an incredible amount of money. You know, I was saying in the previous video that the most you could, you know, certainly the most I was earning was probably about, you know, in a month, 1700, and that was going out, you know, for a fair number of hours a day. And, you know, I think maybe if you were really going crazy, you could probably earn maybe 2,500 max. If you're really doing long shifts and going out every day, etc. But £5,000 is incredible. Now, the only question I wanted to know from the person who wrote that was, you know, in Norwegian terms, is that a very good salary? Because I know the standard of living is incredibly high in Norway. It's one of the highest in the world, I believe, possibly the highest. So is sort of £5,000 a month a kind of terrible bog standard salary that will pay for nothing and will not cover rent and basic bills, or is that actually a fairly decent salary there? I mean, it sounds really good. It sounds fantastic, and it certainly adds to one of my previous videos where I was talking about delivering around the world, and I was trying to find out what the kind of salaries were like, and I knew in a place like Switzerland it was a bit more than here, and I think it was like Cyprus or something, you know, they were earning like 1,000, you know, equivalent to like £1,000 a month. But in terms of the quality of life and standard of living, that was a really good amount to earn in Cyprus. So, yeah, be curious to know whether what that means. But yeah, if you are a delivery driver in another country, do let us know how much you earn. If you're willing to share that information, I'll be curious to know. And perhaps more pertinently, how that equates to the kind of standard of living or the average wage or the minimum wage in your country. Because, yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, I could earn 1,500 here, and in some countries that would be fantastic, earning 1,500 quid a month. It would cover, you know, everything. Here it covers very little. I'm curious to know how shitty paid we are in comparison to other countries. So I've got another supermarket order from the Morrisons I just picked up from. It's just up here. Well, I'm not going back to where I came from. I'm sort of going further ahead, which is nice. Gives you a feeling of progression. Just that one. Is there two of them? Oh, thank you. Right, let me just put it there because I've got to scan it. Thank you so much. So yeah, I just noticed this one's got a £4 tip on it, taken up to be a £7 order, which is hardly any distance at all. It's literally just I don't know, less than a mile, I think. So this would be fantastic. All right, so this is exactly 1 mile. So I reckon if you add together maybe the half a mile I spent getting here, it's 1.5 miles for ultimately £7 if you add in the tip, which is fantastic. Ah, if only all orders were like this. I'll be earning what that Norwegian guy is. That is the nice thing about this job. You can go very quickly from, you know, having a pretty shitty shift to suddenly having a really good one, just with a quick order, decent tip, everything turns around. I mean, it is very much playing into the whole sort of gambling mechanics of doing this job. I think you've got to be of a certain mentality to enjoy it. I don't mind it. It'd be good if the pay was a little bit more consistent, but there is that kind of dopamine rush when you suddenly get a big order and a big tip, and it's you know. Yay. Hey, no? Can I park? Can I get through here, do you reckon? Will it let me through? Screw it. One. Okay. Okay. Is it upstairs or down? Oh, there you go. Cheers. Is this for Hayley? Yeah. Yeah. I think I just need Hayley's. Wait a sec. There's a little gap where the people walk in. I went in through there. It wouldn't open. The thing wouldn't open. Okay. Okay. But there was a car came in before me, but. Oh, I think I can. I think I can. Can I go this way? Me? All right. Got that one done. He was a little on the sullen side, the guy who told me. I appreciated a tip, but, you know, he didn't seem that happy that I somehow managed to get into the apartment complex without using a fob, which is fair enough. All right, so straight after, I got a couple more orders. One from Asda, which is just up around the corner here, and then I think from a sort of a sandwich shop pretty much opposite it, as far as I remember. So it probably works out about like £4.5 or something, and the customers are very, very close to each other, like 0.1 miles between them or something. Let's just pop the bike here so I can. Hi there, I've got an order for Shelby H. Okay, I'll wait a few minutes and see. Shelby? Is that this one? Are you sure? She said that it wasn't that one.
Probably the company my writing.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I see. All right, I can literally see the other shop. Is it worth driving there? Is it worth just walking over and picking it up? Maybe it's just worth just walking over and picking it up and then coming back. Might be easier. Stop myself being a bit lazy as well. Hi, my dear. Got an order for Tiger D. Is that it? Yeah. Thank you so much. All right, let's get off to these two orders again. Shouldn't take very long. Only about 1.5 miles to the first customer, and then like 0.1 miles to the second. So, Yeah, it's paying probably about 4.5, 5 quid for just under 2 miles. These are not bad orders. All right then, mate. There you go.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Have a good one. All right, let's go drop off this other one. This is just around the corner. All right then, my dear. How are you? Cheers. That's it. Thank you so much. Have a great day. All right, that one's done. That brings us up to a very reasonable, I think about £36 in just over 2 hours. So we're looking at about sort of £17, £18 an hour. It's not bad for the middle of the day. All right, well, I think that's my afternoon shift finished. I'll probably be out this evening as well, doing a few hours, see how much more I can make. Thanks for being with me. If you got this far, well, you probably rank among the sort of 0.1% based on the analytics I looked at the other day. There's a lot of drop off after the first 10 minutes of my videos, which I absolutely, completely understand. I'm not sure I can take more than 10 minutes of myself. Also, if I carry on and I've got nothing much to say, I might be forced to put you through a longer musical montage, which, let's be honest, nobody wants that. And I'm going to prove that by ending this video on a shorter, but still not very interesting musical montage. And wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing, whatever day, time, year, month it is, have a damn fine one.